Keep it high, keep it tight. I'm GMgaming Review Guy, back to bring you another 5-minute review. I've really enjoyed, I just want to kind of reach out to you guys and tell you this. I've really enjoyed getting back to the roots of the channel and getting back to the normal videos. I was working really hard on the heavy metal label video in advance. I was working really hard on the Q&A video in advance. We hit those two huge milestones back to back where we hit 900 subscribers and 10,000 views. So go check out those videos if you haven't already. So it really feels nice to be able to start making 5-minute reviews as a predominant series once again, as well as I have tons of videos planned for you guys. I'm very motivated, very prolific feeling right now, and let's get right into the review. So today, we're reviewing Amon Amarth's Jomsviking. So it's not Jomsviking, it's Jomsviking because this is a Swedish band. So Amon Amarth has been around for an extremely long time, and they have been releasing albums for the longest time. They have not slowed down at all. And if you are familiar with a review I did a while ago, I actually got replied to by the band that I reviewed. I reviewed Hedninger, and I reviewed the album Ragnarok, and in that review I said that they kind of sounded like early Amon Amarth, and that really holds and rings true. And I was thinking, why not review the album and the band that I said these guys sounded like? I really like Amon Amarth. They're released by one of my favorite heavy metal labels. I actually referenced them in the heavy metal label video, my top 5 favorites. Metal Blade was number 2, and Amon Amarth was one of the bands I mentioned, along with some of the other bands that I enjoy and some of the other bigger names. Basically what Amon Amarth is they're what's known as Viking metal. Believe it or not, such a thing exists. I reviewed pirate metal a while ago with Elstorm, with No Grave But the Sea, and now I'm reviewing pirate metal. I mean, not pirate metal, Viking metal. So what is Viking metal? Well, basically it's kind of, it's death metal or any type of metal that's mixed with some folk and mixed with, at times, folk, but this is a more death metal band. And they have kind of mythological themes. They have Viking type themes in them, like Valhalla, and they have all these mythological references made. The more you know about Norse mythology, the more fun you're going to have with this album. And bands of this type of genre as a whole, like bands like Bathory, bands like Enslaved, bands like Amon Amarth, Hedninger. There's a lot of Viking metal bands out there, and there's a lot of bands that kind of border on that Viking metal philosophy. So take from that what you will. I really think that the highlight of this album is the instrumentation. Now, this is kind of a melodic death metal type of album as well, meaning that it's classic type of death metal that's mixed with this very kind of orchestral, melodic, harmonious type of instrumentation. And the instrumentation on this album is extremely well crafted. It's well tuned. You can tell that every member knew their place and knew what they were there to do. And I think that not only do the vocals complement the music, but the music complements the vocals. And some of the themes on this album when it comes to the instrumentation is it's just epic. It really conveys the theme that this is something you want to listen to, that this is something that'll get you pumped and hyped and really get you in the mood, such as I think it's called the Way of the Vikings. Yeah, The Way of Vikings, track number 6. That's what I was thinking of, just that starting, that 30-second start when the drums come in, and it really seems like a Viking type of album. Now, this is a concept album. If you don't know what a concept album is, it's basically an album that tells a story, that has a theme running through it, and not just like a certain emotion. This actually has a story behind it, and if you want to, you can read into that. I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but I really enjoy the story. If you follow track by track, it really makes a lot of sense, and if you listen to the songs from start to finish, and if you listen to the album in its entirety, it's going to really come through that this is not only a well-crafted album in every other type of fashion, but lyrically this is also a very well-tailored album. Now, this track number 10, track number 9 features Doro Pesh, who is the vocalist from the German band that I believe is named Warlock. I had not really heard of her before hearing this album, so I'm correct me if I'm wrong there. But overall, I'm going to give this album a 9 out of 10 because I feel like when it comes to melodic death metal or mellow death, whatever you want to call it, there are a lot of bands that have this type of theme, but I think that their Viking metal philosophy, their lyricism, their storytelling, and the instrumentation really sets it apart from other albums that might have gotten a lower score for being more cookie cutter. But Amon Amarth is definitely one of the leading bands in this genre and one that you should definitely check out if you're into this music. So my name's Jay Morris, Review Guy. I'll talk to you guys next time. I'm signing off saying farewell.
Oh no, what's your mama gonna say when I tell her that I broke your heart? It's just things not the way that they used to be. Oh no, now you crying on the bathroom floor and I guess it's the end. Well, I lost my mind and I lost my